Welcome to the Easy Peasy Life Podcast. I'm your host, Poppy Lee, and this is the space for midlife women who are tired of feeling overwhelmed and ready for life to feel lighter, calmer, and more joyful again. Each week, we'll talk about simple habits, mindset resets, and easy tools that help you feel more in control, one small step at a time. If you're ready for peace, clarity, and your comeback season, you're in the right place. Let's make life, well, easy peasy. Hello, guys. What you doing? How you been? And what's going on? It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Welcome to the Easy Peasy Life Podcast. I'm #Poppy Lee, and I'm super excited to have you on here today. For those of y'all who don't know, I am from a little poke town called Dripping Springs outside of West Austin. You continue west, you're going to hit Johnson City. And if you continue west further, you're going to hit Fredericksburg, Texas, the home of over 200 wineries and breweries in the local area. And if you're a fellow wine drinker like I am, cheers to wine and cheers to good coffee. Welcome. I'm so excited for y'all to be here today. Happy Taco Tuesday is what I normally say. So welcome. Before we get into today's episode, I want to ground us with something I say from my heart every single morning. So my motto of the day is each day you have a choice whether to be happy or sad. It's up to you to find the positivity in life. And I hope that I inspire you every single day to do that when you start off your day. If you know someone who could benefit from listening, please share this podcast so you can brighten up their day as well. So welcome. And just to remind you why this space exists, my mission statement is I will empower women in their midlife to recognize their inner and outer beauty, fostering personal growth and self-confidence every single day of their life. So welcome. And the reason that I do this podcast, you guys, is because midlife women deserve to know this season is not about shrinking, settling, or surviving. It's about rediscovering who you are and realizing how much is still possible. So let's go. And whether you're having coffee, doing laundry, or whatever you're doing for the day, welcome to podcast number 13. It is called The Possibility. Possibility didn't leave you. You just forgot to look for it. And so amen. So possibility, you have possibility for the rest of your life, the rest of your midlife. And I don't want you to feel discouraged over today. I want you to feel very hopeful. And this week, our topic is going to be possibility. And possibility is what you have in store for you. Okay, so let me start with something that might feel uncomfortable, but it's going to be honest, and I'm going to be honest with you. So most midlife women don't believe they're out of time. They believe they're out of permission. So they don't believe they're out of time in their life. They believe that they don't have any more permission. They've been asking permission their whole life. But most importantly, you don't necessarily have to be asking permission from your husband, for your significant other, from your parents, from your kids, that kind of thing. Okay? You felt like you've been doing it all until this point, but you've also been asking yourself for permission. And sometimes you just feel like you're out of permission. Like, I can't give myself permission to have fun, or I can't give myself permission to start a new side hustle, or to enjoy life, or to take care of myself. You don't feel like you have permission to do that anymore. And I'm here to tell you that you are wrong. Permission to want more, permission to try again, permission to dream without feeling silly, selfish, or irresponsible. Because when we take care of ourselves, sometimes we feel guilty. We don't feel like we should take care of ourselves. We should always take care of others because that's what we've been trained for the past 20 or 30 years. And somewhere along the way, we stopped asking ourselves one simple question. What still possible for me? What is still possible for me? And what can I do in my life that can make my life purposeful? So here's something science tells us that nobody ever says out loud to us. Studies show that women in midlife experience a major neuroplasticity shift, meaning your brain becomes more capable of reframing, reinvention, learning, and clarity than in the earlier decades. Wow, I didn't know that. right? There's a major neuroplasticity shift in our brain that says we can be clearer, we can know more, we can reinvent ourselves. So let me say that louder. Your brain is literally wired in midlife for reinvention, to rediscover yourself. It's literally reinvented and rewired in midlife to do that. This is not a decline season. This is a recalibration season. But possibility disappears when we keep ourselves and tell ourselves outdated stories. So all of a sudden, when we tell ourselves, I'm not good enough, I can't do that, I used to do that, I can't do that now. So when we tell ourselves stories like that, our possibility and our enthusiasm and our excitement to change in midlife, it shifts and it gets downgraded by what we tell ourselves. Y'all, I will tell you, your subconscious mind is so important. What you tell yourself and what you've been telling yourself all these years can come to fruition, and all of a sudden you're believing all the negativity and the negative thoughts that you have in your brain and that you've had in your mind all these years because you've been training yourself to do that. Y'all, the first 12 years of our life, how we were born and raised, how you were taught about money and your self-confidence and your family life and family dynamics and your education, everything in your life until you're 12 years old gets stored. It's like a sponge. It gets stored in your brain, in your subconscious mind. And so for the rest of your life, and this is going to be your aha moment. For the rest of your life, if you earn $1 million or you earn no matter how much money, if you were taught the first 12 years of your life that your father or your mother went and they earned money and they went to a job that was 9 to 5 and they were miserable, or you associated with going to earn money means not spending time with family. However you learned that in your brain, that's, unless you retrain your brain by listening to monetary affirmations and listening to good stories to where you retrain your subconscious mind to think positively about money, no matter how much money you earn, you guys, you're always going to think negative about money and you're not going to know what to do with it. That's the way your subconscious mind is trained. The same thing about relationships. So I'm going to preface this with, if for some reason your parents or even your siblings had negative relationships when the first 12 years of your life, if you associated relationships, and you're going to be like, oh man. But if your parents didn't have a really good, loving, supportive, respectful, responsible relationship when you were little, then your subconscious mind learned that relationships are not safe. Relationships are not good. I'm never going to be able to have a good relationship. Why? Because you were taught that way when you were younger. So then all of a sudden, when you're in your 20s and your 30s, you have relationships that even maybe the significant other is amazing and they are respectful and loving and caring. But for some reason, you just can't reciprocate that. Well, y'all, it's because that's the way you were born and raised. That's the way you were taught. And it isn't necessarily your parents' fault. Maybe that's the way they were raised. And you're like, well, Poppy, what can I do about that? Like, that's the way I was taught. Well, that's why you have to retrain your mind. And in doing that, sometimes we have to go to therapy. Sometimes we have to listen to affirmations about good relationships. Sometimes I listen to Audible books that teach us about relationship strengths and how to form positive relationships in our mind. So we can cover, and I always say this, we cover our negative subconscious mind with good positive thoughts. And let me tell you what I mean by this. So if you watch at night, if you watch a scary movie, how many of you watch a scary movie or a really, really sad movie at night, right? That's what you watch. And then at the end of the movie, you're like, ugh, I don't feel good. Like, how many of you go through a really sad movie and all of a sudden you're crying and you're down, and at the end it didn't get better? Like, you're like, okay, it's going to turn around for the better and it's going to get better. All of a sudden you're like, ew, I don't feel good. Like, this movie didn't make me feel good. And then all of a sudden, and I always do this, you watch a comedy. So your brain gets covered in negativity. And if you watch a horror or a scary movie, all of a sudden you're in panic mode. Then all of a sudden you have to watch a comedy or a happy-go-lucky Lifetime movie, right? You have to do all that. Why? Because if you're super sad and upset, then you watch a comedy, your brain goes back to stability and neutral, right? That's the same thing in your life. So if your life was taught to really be negative or solve things with anger and frustration and sadness, then that's the way no matter what, in your 20s and your 30s, you're going to think to yourself, that's the way I need to solve my issues, or my relationships are negative and stuff. So you need to listen to affirmations. You need to focus on the strength and changing your subconscious mind. And go back to, you can go listen to an Audible book or read an Audible book. Her name is Jen Sincero. She's amazing. How to Be a Badass by Jen Sincero. She's amazing. Go listen to that Audible book. And she'll teach you about your subconscious mind and how to retrain it. Super important. Okay, so let's move on. There was a season in my life where I truly believed my biggest chapters were already written. Like I thought, that's it for me. I was a teacher for 18 years. That's as good as it's going to get, right? And sometimes we as midlife mamas or even daddies think to ourselves, I've already lived my best life. You know, we always think of retirement being like the end all. I'm just supposed to enjoy the rest of my life and then I'm done, right? In our 50s, we're like, okay, we're mid-century. We're like done with our life. And that's so not true because you can reinvent yourself. So I thought my biggest chapters were behind me. I didn't announce it. I didn't cry about it. I just quietly stopped imagining new things for myself. So I was like, that's it, right? This is going to be it. We're empty nesters. My kids are already old and grown. They've already graduated from college. Like everything's done for me. I told myself I shouldn't be grateful. I shouldn't rock the boat and change my life. I told myself, this is probably it. Whoops. This is probably it. That's it for me. I'm done. And then one day it hit me. That wasn't peace in my life. That was me playing small. Why? Because I felt safer. Right? All of a sudden you're in midlife and you're like, I'm done. Like, this is it. I'm not going to do anything. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to change things in my life. I'm comfortable doing what I'm doing.
If you're ready for simple ChatGPT prompts that make life easier, grab my free guide at easypeasyprompts.com/busywoman's guide. It only takes a minute and it's made for busy women who want quick wins and less overwhelm.
So let me ask you something. Answer honestly, okay? Have you stopped dreaming because it feels irresponsible? Think about that. Do you downplay what you want so no one thinks you're ungrateful or crazy? Have you told yourself it's too late without ever questioning it? It's too late. And then you just stay like that. Do you feel a quiet pull towards something and immediately talk yourself out of it? So I feel like doing that. I can do that. Like at the beginning of the year, what do we normally do? Well, let's start working out. Let's have some goals, right? And start working out. And then you're like, I'm too tired. Y'all, I've been there. I felt the same way yesterday. I went to work out and every being of my body said, I don't want to work out. I don't want to go work out. I'll do it tomorrow. You know, procrastination is the root of all evil. I will tell you that. So let me tell you something and listen carefully. That is not wisdom. That is fear dressed up as practicality. And here's the part that might just sting a little, like a little bee. Some women will hear this and say, that's unrealistic. But most women only call things unrealistic when they're scared to want them. That's unrealistic for me. I don't want to do that. That's unrealistic because they're scared. And this is where I want to pause for just a second. Because possibility isn't just a mindset. It's something you're allowed to act on. And a lot of women tell me, Poppy, I want to know more. I just don't know where to start. And that's exactly why I created what I'm about to tell you about this. And for those of y'all who didn't get to catch my live yesterday, if you've been feeling that pull towards something new, more freedom, more income, more purpose, but you put your mind and your brain immediately goes, I'm not techie, I'm overwhelmed, I don't even know what to do. Listen to me, that doesn't mean you're stuck. That means you need a system, not more motivation. So this is what I built, and I told you about this yesterday. I built the AI income generator for midlife women. It's designed to specifically help midlife women who want to create income using AI. And you're like, things that make you go, who was that? That was Tone Loc or something. But you don't have to be cold messaging, tax savvy without burning yourself out. You don't have to do all this. This isn't hustle culture. I can't even say that. This is clarity, support, and small systems. If possibility has been tapping you on the shoulder lately, this might be your next step. And if you want to, you can learn more at easypeasyprompts.com and look up my AI income generator. And don't worry, everything is made to feel simple, encouraging, and guided. It actually guides you through every single steps. So let's go ahead and jump back into my point. Here's something else midlife women don't realize. Research shows that midlife women underestimate how much life they still have by 20 to 25 years. Midlife women underestimate how much life they still have by 20 to 25 years. That means many women mentally plan in their 50s like they're near the end of life. So do they want to start something new? Hell no. Hell to the no. They don't want to start anything new because they're like, I'm almost done. Hell, I'm not done. And that belief alone quietly shuts the door on possibility. They're actually standing at the midpoint of their life. You're actually standing at the midpoint of your life. So possibility doesn't mean blowing up your life. It doesn't mean poof, we're going to change everything. Your stability, your drive, your focus, everything's going to change for you. Sometimes possibility looks like finally using your voice and sticking up for yourself. Letting yourself be seen. Asking for help. Changing your mind. Choosing yourself without an apology. Allowing joy without earning it. Possibility isn't loud like I am. It whispers, this is your time. And midlife is when you finally have a quiet time to hear it. I need you to hear this part. Girls, guys, you don't have to become a different woman to enjoy possibility. You just have to stop abandoning the one you already are. Possibility doesn't come from doing more. It comes from believing more is allowed for you. If this episode is making you slightly uncomfortable, good. That usually means possibility just walked into the room and said, welcome, I'm here. This is possibility. So today, guys, I'm going to give you a challenge for the day. Ask yourself one question and don't overthink it. If fear wasn't driving, what would I do next? So if fear wasn't impeding in your thought process, what would you do next for yourself? What would be the next thing you would do? Write it down. Don't judge it and don't say, I can't do it. Don't explain it. Don't explain it away. Don't say, no, that's too scary or whatever. What would you do next or choose next? Write it down. Don't judge it. Don't say you can't do it. Don't put an opinion on it. Just notice it. That's how possibility starts knocking in your life again. I want to close today by telling you something, and I want you to hear it in your bones. You are not too old. You are not behind. You are not asking for too much. And you are not foolish for thinking this way. You are not foolish for wanting more. Possibility didn't leave you. You stopped looking for it because life taught you to be more responsible instead of expansive. But this season is about strength. You're about strength, emotional strength, mental strength, and the courage to choose yourself again. Midlife is not the end of your story. It's the chapter where you finally stop waiting for permission and start living with intention. Thank you truly for being here today on episode 13 of the Easy Peasy Life Podcast. Thank you for choosing you. I love you so much, and I thank you so much for putting yourself first. I appreciate you, and I am so proud of you for choosing growth, reflection, and possibility in your life. If this episode stirred something in you, please share it with another woman who needs permission to believe and permission to do herself again. Your story isn't done. Possibility is still alive for you, and this is just the beginning. I love you. Let's go. Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Easy Peasy Life Podcast. If today's episode encouraged you, make sure to follow and subscribe so you never miss one. Don't forget to grab your free guide at easypeasyprompts.com/busywomen's-guide. It's perfect for busy women who want life to feel easier. And join me live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'll see you on the next episode. Let's go.